You are now watching Cyrus Speaks.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cyrus Speaks. I am your host, Cyrus Haru, and today's episode is going to be about I hate shortcuts. Show me the long route. So, for me, I truly hate shortcuts because usually shortcuts end up costing you in the long run. They end up wasting a lot of your time, because you get something really quick and you feel like, okay, cool, like I accomplished that quickly. But it's always so many little things, little intricate pieces that you didn't grasp along the way. That once you've already I guess accomplished that goal, somehow it comes back and it ruins things. You end up failing on the back end. And it's like, for me, I would just much rather just do the steps that it takes to become successful than trying to skip steps, because everyone's always trying to win fast. And it's not about who wins fast, it's about who wins the longest. The goal is to continuously be successful. You have people, see, there's a difference between, that person succeeded or that person is successful. See, being successful it's a verb. It's ongoing. It's something that's, continuous. Succeeding means, like, if you just succeeded, it meant like, oh, they just accomplished that one goal. But it's just like you could be failing in so many other aspects of your life, So, and I feel like nowadays a lot of people are trying to find shortcuts to everything, versus just doing the work. One thing about the game, you can't shortcut the game. You can't cheat the game. That's like, for instance, you'll see these people who become famous overnight. Let's say, for instance, a rap artist. A lot of times I like to reference rap because I used to rap. I got a lot of heat, for y'all on the low. Y'all might check that out later. But anyways, all right, back. So you'll see these rappers who, like, out of thin air, they just blew up overnight. And you're like, yo, where'd this dude come from? Like, oh, they got this, this track that, like, got everybody's attention and went viral, and everybody's so excited about it and hype, and they're just thinking like, oh, this dude's gonna have a career with longevity. But what ends up happening is that person didn't do the work leading up to it. If this is a person who might have just been recording for like 6 months, and they mess around, make a song, put it on social media, and it goes viral, and boom, they're famous. 9 times out of 10, they don't know the steps that it's going to take to actually maintain that celebrity appeal, maintain that success, maintain the money, maintain the creativity that it takes to be an artist. I always tell everybody, look, everybody's good for one. But how many people are good for 1,001? Everybody's not built to be able to do things on a long-term basis. So that's why it's always crucial to know those steps leading up, because it's important, man. It's important. Like, I used to skateboard back in the day, and with skateboarding, it's crucial to learn those steps. Because if you don't learn certain steps to be able to, do tricks successfully, you can get seriously injured. Like, I've seen people really get injured. Folks breaking their legs, breaking their arms, like fracturing things, possibly almost breaking their neck. Like, and that it applies to so many other things. Like, so for me, I'm big on knowing how things can transcend. Everything has the ability to, you can transcend an experience to something else, to be able to compare it to other things. It's like a universal code, but we'll get into all of that type of conversation further down the line once we get a little bit more, acquainted. But yeah, man. I don't like shortcuts, man. It's like, and in today's time, I feel like that's something that is more so forced on society to feel like we need these shortcuts because we don't have as much time as we used to have. We're in such a rush to do everything, so it's like let me do the quick step. So it's like mental conditioning. It's like, okay, instead of me sitting and brewing coffee that's going to take me like 30 to 45 minutes to actually brew it, in a coffee pot, getting it situated and everything. Let me do this instant coffee on a Keurig, and it's gonna take like a few minutes. And yeah, it might taste all right, but it's not gonna taste like some really good brewed coffee. And I don't really drink coffee that often anymore. Trying to cut back on that. Really been more health conscious, but it does have some benefits. But it's a big difference. It's like TV dinners. More people eat TV dinners than ever before. And it's just like it might take 4 to 5 minutes to make a Thanksgiving dinner in the microwave. Now good and well it take way more than 5 minutes to make Thanksgiving dinner. That's like a whole half day. No, it's like a multi-day process, honestly. Like usually you start cooking the day before, and you still cooking the next day until dinner's ready. It's a whole process, but it's like we're trying to skip that so we can conserve time. And it's like, it's more valuable to just spend that time on working on these things because it's more gratifying for you and it's more beneficial for you. I think about how in America, the fast food industry is huge because people don't have time to, sit down and cook a meal. They don't even have time to sit down and like really eat, so it's like, oh, well, let me just stop by this drive-through and, it's going to take 10 minutes to get a fully cooked meal. But the problem is all of that stuff is processed. All of that stuff has, so many different like GMOs in it. And it's just so many negative things, carcinogenic things that's in those foods. It's not, it might not affect you today, but it's going to affect you in the long run. And that kind of brings us back to the topic, it's the short term, win is going to be a long term loss. We got to get back to doing things that take time. We look at these microwave relationships, folks, just, meet somebody, they just met, social media or something, like social media dating, and it's just like, you're just jumping into things, getting in a relationship with that person, and it's just like you don't know them well enough, and people are wondering why relationships aren't lasting like they used to because a lot of it isn't developed naturally. It's microwaved, it's sped up. The whole process itself. It's like you gotta give things time to become, what they're capable of being versus trying to force it to be something that it might not be, because allowing things to have time, allowing yourself to take time and working on that process, man, it's going to help you out in the long run. There's so many little small details that you miss out on by skipping steps that if you just took your time, you'd actually be a lot more successful, in the end. So I'm hoping that y'all are able to feel me on that, because once again, this dives into a lot of different aspects of your life. It dives into education, it dives into your food diet, like it dives into your time consumption on things. Just take that and apply that to your life, man. So, it takes time to make time, so spend your time wisely and just do everything in steps, man. Just take your time to perfect everything that you're trying to do. Well, until next time, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.